now I am reading an article by Lisa Bickmore called Genre in the Wild, Understanding Genre Within Rhetorical Ecosystems. So, when I read, I've done this since I was little, but whenever I read, I have to kind of whisper the words as I go, or else my mind wanders too much, and then I end up having to reread. I still have to do that when I whisper, but it's less, happens less often. So, as I was reading through this article, I was like, oh my goodness, since I'm just whispering away anyway, I might as well make an ASMR video. Also, whenever I do schoolwork, I experience a lot of ASMR, and I'm put in a very relaxed state, and so it's hard for me to really concentrate when I'm doing homework, especially when I watch videos. I'm like, oh my gosh, stay awake. So anyway, this will help me stay awake and do my homework. So hopefully you enjoy it, as a template. Let's say you're learning about the report genre. You learn that it typically has an informational purpose. You look at a few reports, and it seems like they often have headings, and they often have graphs or charts. You forge ahead, trying in your draft to bring in as many of these kinds of features as you can. But do graphs and heading alone make a piece of writing a report? No, no, no. One thing, an approach like this, looking at the genre as a formulaic, standalone artifact, does not show very well as how the genre actually functions